Hello everyone, and this is section 6.2. So here we're factoring trinomials. So we have like a couple of separate types of trinomials. Ones where the leading coefficient is 1. These tend to be a little bit easier. And ones where the leading coefficient is not 1. This one we're going to learn like two main methods of how to do this. And we're going to also look at factoring using substitution, which you can factor more general things that are maybe higher powers or different powers than just the x squared, the x, and the constant. So let's look at the first type, which is factoring trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c, where the leading coefficient here is a 1. All right? So let's look at this example here. We want to factor x squared plus 11x plus 24, right? So this comes from multiplying two parentheses of this form, like a plus m, x plus m, and x plus n, right? So let's see, so m and n could be like any numbers. So let's actually multiply this out and see what happens when we FOIL, okay? So when we FOIL this, we get the x times the x gives me the x squared. The x times the n gives me nx. The m times the x gives me mx. And the m times the n gives me m times n, okay? So we have the x squared term, and we have the constant term. So those comes from the first and the last. This is for the FOIL. And these ones you can clearly see in your starting trinomial. So here's the x squared, and here's the constant term, okay? So x comes from, the x squared comes from multiplying x from here with x from there. And this constant term comes from multiplying these numbers, the m times the n, right? So those are like clearly seen. But the middle term right here, the x term, comes from combining these two. Because these are common. Those are similar terms. They're like terms. They both have x's in them. So nx plus mx. So these are going to combine together when you have numbers. So these make the 11x. So this is the x squared. These together make the 11x. And this is the 24. Okay? So now when we work backwards from the FOILing, so kind of factoring a trinomial is like doing backwards FOILing. We gotta basically guess these numbers. Okay, so we gotta figure out which two numbers multiply to give me 24 and add up to give me 11. Okay, so you might have seen these before, kind of with a cross like this. You want to figure out two numbers that multiply to give you 24 and add to give you 11. Okay, so a good way to think about it is to start with this constant number. You kind of go, 24 is what times what? Is 24 times 1, or is 12 times 2, or is 8 times 3, or is 6 times 4, or it's 4 times 6, but we're going to start to repeat. Okay, so which of these pairs are going to add up to 11? And you can see that this is what's going to work, because you have 8 times 3 gives you 24, and 8 plus 3 gives you 11. Right? So you can sort of use this little cross right here to keep track of what you're doing. Okay, so you can sort of put the times in one and the adding in the other. So this is like times, and this is the plus. All right. So when I factor this, I'm basically going to go, well, the answer is going to be in two parentheses. the x squared is going to split up into x times x. And these two numbers, the 8 and the 3, is one I need to put in these places. 8 here and 3 here. It doesn't matter if you have 8 and 3 or 3 and 8, because multiplication you can do in any order. And this is the factored form. Right? To check, you can multiply. You have x and x is x squared. Then you have plus 3x and plus 8x. And 8 times 3 is 24. Right? And these add up to give you the 11x. So basically, you're kind of trying to, with this, you're trying to work through backwards through the process to see, like, how did I get here? Like, which numbers did I multiply to give me that 24, but they also worked when combined together to add to give me the 11x. All right?